The National House of Traditional and Khoi-San Leaders hosting its second day of the 2025 Traditional Leaders Imbizo. It's a three-day gathering and will review progress on rural development, social cohesion, land matters and pressing issues, while also charting some kind of roadmap for the future. 300 delegates, including political leaders and others, are in attendance. SABC News reporter that Samkele Maseko is part of our team watching the story, and he joins us now live from Boksburg. And Samkele, we've heard from Action SA's Herman Mashaba, for one, who says he's unapologetically a capitalist. Help us place his remarks in the context of today's program.
Indeed, and Herman Mashaba, speaking on behalf of his organization Action SA, saying that he's unapologetically a capitalist, and when Herman Mashaba enjoys his money making, then it means he will be employing thousands of community members. He was speaking about the SMMEs, saying that they must belong to South Africans within these communities of traditional leaders, saying that South Africa is the only country where its SMME sector is now being mortgaged off to foreign nationals, and most instances they are undocumented illegal migrants within the country, particularly speaking about how those factories that used to operate in the areas such as Hammanskraal, out of the 22 factories that are there, only 6 are operational today, and you're looking at the closure of factories such as Goodyear in the Eastern Cape, in Kariga, speaking about how these sectors and these factories in local areas where there is traditional leadership, these SMMEs must belong to local residents of that area in order for them to make money and in order for them to create jobs for the people within their areas. So we were speaking about how he's an unapologetic capitalist who's there to make a difference through employing South Africans, and that's his contribution to the social fabric of the country.
Right, and we are anticipating to hear from a number of other political leaders, Samkele. Get us a sense of, who these people are, and I suppose just your general sense of how the political establishment is being accepted or welcomed at the Imbizo.
Well, it is a bit difficult to hear you, Ayanda. You are breaking here and there, but I would assume you're asking that how is the political establishment being received. It is very hostile to some of these particular parties with the questions that are being asked. Traditional leaders are asking that if we're to vote for you, Herman Mashaba, if we're to vote for you, Nkululeko Dunga of the Economic Freedom Fighters. I'm just going to ask my colleague Herbert Memela, just to show you some of the political leaders who are gathered here. It is also Natin Tleko of the MK Party, who's the national chairperson of the MK Party. He's seated there in the far right corner. He is going through his input that he will be making to this particular gathering. Next to him is the provincial chairperson of the Economic Freedom Fighters, wearing those red overalls there, Nkululeko Dunga, with the communications officer of the EFF in Gauteng. They are a tag team. They are here together. It was supposed to be Esma Taisa, who is a Central Command member of the EFF, was supposed to address here today, but he unfortunately could not make it. On behalf of the African National Congress, they did send David Mahlobo, who is an ANC, NEC and NWC member, National Working Committee member. He will be speaking on behalf of the African National Congress. The IFP has sent its Secretary General, after the Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, also the President of the IFP, that would be Nkosini Hlabisa. Yesterday said that today he will not be speaking in his cap as the President of the IFP, but will come back in his capacity as the Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, after these traditional leaders were very hostile on government, saying that the government of national unity is the weakest administration in South Africa since the dawn of democracy. Then the Minister Hlabisa came on board and said that it is very unfair to characterize and to conclude on a one-year administration that has not been tested over a period of time. But we do expect that other political formation leaders will also speak, but they said that they have not invited the Democratic Alliance. So essentially they have decided to go past the DA and look at other political formations that are predominantly black-leaning organizations.
And then, Samkele, before we let you go, if you are still able to hear us, help us understand what the main objectives here are? How do we know after these 3 days if this has been a successful Imbizo?
Asking what is the main purpose of this particular gathering? It is essentially to look at the state of governance within the country in the context of the national dialogue that is currently taking place within the country. After the launch of the national dialogue at the National Convention last week at the University of South Africa, UNISA in Pretoria, they are looking at what will be the role of traditional leaders when this national dialogue goes to the various communities. How will they engage with it? What is their perspective on the governance of the country? They view local government as having totally collapsed, especially heading to local government elections next year. They see that a number of commitments that were made to the National House of Traditional and Khoi-San leaders have not yet been fulfilled, of that remuneration, of how they don't have medical aids and they're not properly taken care of by government. These are some of the issues that they're ventilating within this particular gathering. I do know in the province of Limpopo, their Minister of Coxter, that would be Biskop Makamo, which also traditional leadership falls under him. He was able last year through the Finance Department of Finance in Limpopo to be able to give a number of traditional leaders vehicles in order to be able to commute properly. For instance, if you look at the remuneration of traditional leaders, you go to KwaZulu-Natal, alone in KwaZulu-Natal, there are over 3,000 indunas that would need to be paid. As if you go to another province like the Northwest Province, that may have about 15, 16. So these are some of the issues that are going to be ventilated, and these traditional leaders are going to say that the administration has totally failed them when it comes to the upkeep of traditional authority, and that they view the traditional authorities' power is being wiped out by parliamentarians in parliament in order to give more power to those whom are democratically elected, as opposed to the power that was held yesteryear by traditional authorities in instilling the rule of law, discipline and order in their communities.